Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 83 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddies slash co-hosts Thomas, Donnie, and Justin. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, world premiere, tons of more spoilers, crazy things, and I'm sure the decks and the markets and everybody working on it are going wild. Welcome to High Seas. Ready to rock the boat.
Yep, that was my Flesh and Blood week. I don't think I went and played any games in person other than just kind of hanging out on Talishar, and I played a couple games in paper with a friend of mine. But
I went to an armory on Tuesday. I played Verdance. I went 3-0. We're no longer playing that deck. We move on. It feels outdated at this point.
I didn't get to play on Tuesday, and I slept through the world premiere, but as I was getting in my car to go to work, I did turn it on, so I got to hear the last few plays of the finals, which was wild, but, you know, in the best possible way.
Yeah, big boat.
Yeah, big boat win game.
Dude, big that boat. I do like how, like,
that was a $10,000 boat.
Almost all the attacks are boats, right? Like,
yeah,
all the pirate
Fight
attacks
ships.
and all the pirate attacks and all the mechanologist attacks are boats.
No, but those are airboats.
I mean, anything can be an airboat.
Did you try hard enough? Anything's an airboat. Okay.
Any boat can be an airboat. It just may never become the other boat it was supposed to be again.
Fair enough.
At that point, it's a gravy bones boat, right? Because then it's at the bottom. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's the three stages of the boat.
We can let that analogy go there.
Yeah. I feel like my shackles are finally off. I have all the cards. I have all the information I need to test and prepare for this event. And that makes me happy. But now it's actually doing the testing and preparing, and I would like to sleep at some point.
Dude, it's actually really stressful.
It's so stressful.
I'm super stressed out.
I was trying to do as much prep ahead of time, and then just all of it goes straight out the window when we see these new heroes and when we see this limited format, and I'm like, oh no, this might be the deepest limited format we've had yet. And
seems like a pretty layered.
I will say it is a lot of fun to play.
It is up there, even in just a couple drafts. It is very up there, like with Rosetta for me.
Yes. Rosetta is still my GOAT for now, but this is way better than I expected.
It's also exciting to watch. It's really fun to watch people fight over Treasure Island. Like, I enjoyed watching it way more than I thought I would, because I am one of those people that watching Limited doesn't do it as much for me, and it could be I'm just like excited to get into pre-release weekend this weekend and go to Nats and draft. But I also just thought the dynamics of what was happening was really exciting, because Rosetta, even though Rosetta's probably one of my favorites, a lot of the matches aren't exciting to watch because a lot of the heroes you're just trying to get to a certain end game, and the decisions to get there usually are only like one or two very critical decisions, and then you're just there.
Yeah, Rosetta was a lot of posturing to set up an endgame win, where this is like you are going to posture to set up your endgame win while fighting over the current game while also having to do math. It's a lot, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it so far.
You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested to see how expensive some of these cards are. Like, do we have pre-release prices?
Oh, we can check. That's actually a good thing. I had a very limited market minute, more so just because I know there's tons of spoilers and cards, and class identity and dynamics that we want to talk about. So I didn't load up on the cards, as well as there's
a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, there's just a lot to talk about
today.
But there are some pre-release prices. I mean, we can just throw a few out. I mean, is there any card in particular that you guys are curious about how much it might be pre-selling for?
Conquer the High Seas. I think that's the one everyone is gonna like. I think that one's gonna be expensive, and the Fable, which we'll talk about later, is gonna be expensive.
Well, we're gonna talk about the Fable.
We definitely want to talk about Codex too.
We will, and we'll get into that with the market minute for sure.
I do want to know how Codex got affected.
$69. There's six on there for 69 a piece. Interesting number. Way to go. 3 have sold for 75.
And if you happen to buy one of those, clicking our affiliate link, you would send us like 3% of that, right? Is that what it was?
Correct. That is correct. Imagine if, with one simple click, you could help. You get 3% of a 69. You could help the pod. And we do have affiliate links that will be in the description below. One of them being a TCG player. Yeah, that's the name of it. TCG player site. Affiliate link that if you click on, doesn't cost anything to use it. It's just a link. It's just a kickback. It would be super cool, super helpful, super thoughtful, and we would appreciate it. There's also affiliate links to dice, binders, folios, sleeves, whatever that may be on there as well. But the big one, TCG player. So any of these cards that we're talking about, you can get your hands on too. Although I'd probably wait for Conquer of the High Seas. I don't know if this is physically in hand. You know, it's a little hard. Hard to know whether these are in hand or not. You'd assume they'd be in hand, but
I think it's only one vendor
you never know.
Selling them. I looked it up too.
Yeah, there's only one vendor. But that's a 69. There's no Fabled on the market. Just random Majestics here and there. Lots of the allies. Some rares, some commons, like $2 rares, $3 commons, things like that. It hasn't blown the doors open yet. This weekend you'll definitely see this fleshed out for sure.
Yeah, this time next week we'll have it all.
We'll be standing in front of vendor booths going, "You're asking what for a playset of these?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Some of these cards
Those who are getting
going
to Vegas
be
early
big.
are going to make some extra money.
Can't be mad at somebody for chasing that bag, but at the same time, it sucks.
This
Or
could
for
be
me,
a hard.
It's going to be Thomas. Thomas, please buy my cards for me on Thursday before I get there.
Actually, that's a good point. I will be there early, and I will be down to run an errand. So
Yes, and we will gladly compensate accordingly.
okay.
So,
But how much
Good business.
Codex of Frailty is the one that I'm most interested in, since that's a card that we kind of have like a real price on, and we've been watching this card for like 2 years now, just move up and down, up and down.
So Codex of Frailty is currently still at 85, which is where it was kind of last week when we checked in on it too. It's not going to do much moving until one, they get pulled. So if you're waiting to buy a Codex right now, you're waiting to see what the reprint will do. So you don't want to buy. Problem is that it's going to be double-edged a little bit because one, it's a legendary. Two, we don't know if there's an extended art version or if it's just the base. I mean, personally, I don't know whether there is an extended art version or if it's just a base. But assuming that it's just a base codex, you need to know the pull rates and then how long it's going to take to kind of drive that down. It's still a new Codex of Frailty, right? So it still has collectability from the old one because you want to have both styles. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of how it works. Now, for the majority of Fab players, it's playability. They just, whatever the cheapest one is, please. So it will rock the boat a little bit for Outsiders, but Outsiders just isn't readily available on the shelves either. So, I mean, they'll probably taper each other down to hopefully 50, 60 in time. But if this is Hunted 2.0 with allocation problems, things like that, I mean, who knows? I mean, if it's at on rate with a legendary and maybe the boxes aren't biting that great because there's treasure chase, you know, I don't know. They're really working with like no data. I mean, I'm sure there's some that have opened up plenty of boxes and kind of have an idea. In theory, it should drive the price down, but look at Command and Conquer. One's 80, one's 109. So, like, did it really do its job, or did the new Command and Conquer just become better? I mean, the old one went down for sure. The old Arcane Rising base one went down for sure. Good. At least like $20.
Okay, well, mission accomplished.
That's what we want. Yeah.
And so if the same thing can happen to Codex of Frailty, where the new one gets the fervor and the old one goes down, but I mean, think about it, $65, $70 for Codex is pretty.
Yeah, Command and Conquer tanked 10%, and never
the history
recovered.
pack one went even further back.
Yeah, and history pack should be lower too. So I mean, again, in time, Codex should drop, but right now it's still at 85. I'd wait. I'd wait to see what the new Codex brings to the market.
I don't know about waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Looking at this art for this codex, I have a very, very bad feeling that it's not going to perform the same way that Command and Conquer did. This is an inferior art, in my opinion.
Really?
And yeah, I
like
don't
them
like this
both.
as much as the original.
And I think
So-
like collectors are gonna want a playset of both because it is the original artist reprising his art. So if you're like a collector, I think this guy has like I think he's done like over 100 Flesh and Blood cards.
Right,
Yeah, he's
but
crushed it.
my point is the new Command and Conquer drew a lot of hype because the new art was really freaking cool. I don't get that same vibe from the new art of Codex.
See, we're flipped.
I mean, it's
I like the
it's-
I'm
figure.
flipped. I like the new one better.
yeah.
but,
I
and
prefer
that's fine.
so
like
I don't. I like the new Command and Conquer. I think the flare's really cool. I think they're both great. But it, like just like how Thomas likes it or doesn't like everybody's gonna have their different flavors, right? So Codex will still hit those that want to have like I mean I want all three codexes because I want to have the different styles. So like, I'm gonna collect it. It looks pretty cool. I mean I enjoy it. The artist reprising the artwork is also really cool. That's very big. Pokemon has a lot of that too, where artists kind of carry over in cards. So again, this will have a bigger splash because it has the word new attached to it and it's from the new set. So it will make a splash no matter what. And hopefully that'll hopefully that'll Andy out those old frailties. Like I don't want to play with these anymore. And they'll drop the old ones and pick up the new ones.
If you want to strictly rarity upgrade your Codex playset, then yeah, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know.
No, it's just
Maybe
be
people-
completionism.
I don't see it having the same impact.
We'll have to see. This is a good one. We're going to sidebar this. We're going to give it a couple weeks because this card will make or break. Because Ranger will be strong. We were going to see a huge share of Rangers and Assassins, but a huge share. And so we were going to see these cards fly off. Let's move on. This one's maybe not exactly the most surprising, but Fables have had, and we're going to talk about the other Fable. Fables have had a very sort of up and down. Grandeur of Valhai, Blood of the Drakai, the Shard for Viscerai, like very, very stark ups and downs. Heart of Finals down to like 269 right now.
They're not generic.
That's true. Heart of Final is right.
Well,
Yeah.
Heart of
yeah,
Final
Heart
is, but the
Yeah,
first
so
three you mentioned are
the
all
first
class.
right. Heart of Finals at 269, so it's actually on a downslope. Just really not in a life gain meta, I guess, where that's used or used in a lot of decks, or people don't want to do the second cycle, not really getting the whole full value out of Heart. I have Ophidia, however, has seen its low days, been down below 350, been close to 300. I mean, probably should have picked it back up when it was there. I mean, really down all the way back February 338, March 330, and it's like it's just been climbing back up to 443.
Yeah.
So I don't know if opt is just a hot keyword. I don't know if everybody said,
Justin,
well, wait a minute.
Is there something you're not telling us? Is Kano secretly the best deck at Nats?
no, well you've known that. I keep saying that.
There's no way that this went up just so that someone who already has a pocket watch can look at the top of his deck, can look at the top of his deck more. This
I
can
don't
only
know.
be Kano.
It's could be a weird speculation. Could be people driving the price artificially. It's a little bit of both. It's an old card. It's a hard card to get. Nobody really wants to open Arcane Rising. Stormstrider's banned in Blitz. You've got Command and Conquer worth a little less to open, and then Art of War banned. So opening Arcane Rising doesn't feel very good. Hard to get these. Hard to get these Rainbow Foil Eye of Ophidias. So they're gonna hold their value.
There's only like 6 for sale, even at that crazy price.
There are not that many I have Ophidia. It's like every time I bypass one of these because it's one of the gems I don't own, I actually get a little sad because it's like it feels like a card you should own. It sucks. Is it like, do you have to have it? Probably not. But oh man, if your game plan is opting and you don't have that, you kind of feel bad. If you could work it in naturally. I'm not saying like throw
It
it, in
depends
just
on what
because you want
classes
to
you're
opt.
into.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was the first gem that I rebought. I had all of them up until Rosetta, and it's the first one that I rebought.
It's the
So I'm
second
like, well, this
best
one's the
blue
most
in
reliable.
Kano until it's the worst blue in Kano.
Mm-hmm.
Will of
Just
Arcana's
honest.
better, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But just don't miss. It's fine.
So we'll move on. We've talked about this one in the past, but I just want to recheck on it. Obviously, this is more of like, hey, did it get any crazier with all the cards breaking the doors open from high seas and all the spoilers? Kinda. So Crown of Dominion is like a $90 rainbow foil. You know, here we go again. The Marvel version, just for anybody that kind of cares, is $314.89 currently. They've been selling as high as $330, so it's not like, hey, maybe they're worth that. No, there's people out there paying $330 for it, which is kind of wild. So Crown of Dominion's real, gold is real. There's a lot of gold. A lot of cards that hate on gold, a lot of cards that want gold, a lot of cards that want to have less gold than your opponent. A lot of gold. Not surprised to see Crown of Dominion that high.
Okay. On that note, what about Balance of Justice?
Balance of Justice, when I checked earlier, was like 124, and I didn't add it to the list. I was going to put it at the end with like an honorable mention for things you need to look into.
Same
so
price,
Balance of Justice.
right? Oh, no. There's a bug on TCG Player where if you switch cards, it doesn't update the price at the top. You have to refresh.
Yeah. I mean, it's 124. You can buy it right now for 124. And I feel that that's reasonable for it. There is a chance where it goes up, obviously. I mean, if all the decks in the meta draw, here it comes. You got to make your choice between Crown and that, but
Problem is that I think a lot of times they're only like drawing one card a turn, but they're doing it like every turn.
there might be a couple decks that want to draw some more cards, but yes, I mean, there's ways around it. I don't know. I think balance is something that will sit low until everybody feels like, oh no, you have to have it. And then once it circulates, right, word of mouth, like, no, you've got to have it for this season, then it'll go up. That's going to be the same thing with like your generics, which we've got one of the biggest ones on there that we need to talk about. It's definitely situational. So there's a couple like that. And then, I mean, like, just to be real, like, you know, Shelter, still insanely expensive. I mean, like, if it's from Hunted, it's probably astronomical. I would expect the Felling of the Crowns and the Plow Unders to slowly drop, since I think there's a lot less oomph coming out from Florian. Like, completely dead, probably not.
Definitely
but not as much like hype where people are jumping on that. I think now the bandwagon jumpers, or whatever you want to call them, meta chasers, have gone on to the 3 new heroes. So expect whatever they're playing to jump, which we just don't know yet. I mean, things like Poison the Tip, Rapid Fire, people are like specking on all sorts of things. Katsu cards have kind of leveled out, just so you guys are aware. So like Retrace the Path is like 13, 12, and then Dishonor is like 10. But big one, Call to the Grave, still $32. There is one that you get from the Armory deck. Problem is the Armory deck is still pre-selling for $90 plus and will probably sell out before anybody gets a chance to get their hands on it. So you'll probably get screwed and have to buy it from second market. Hopefully not. Or ask around. Like, really try and find it for MSRP. It's gonna be such a sought after deck. Not necessarily because of Call of Grave, just because the cards that are in it, you know, like,
It's a new class.
Mechanically, he is extremely fun to play.
Yeah,
he seems,
It looks like it.
he seems
so
super
much
fun.
so cool and limited. Super cool there.
Yeah. And then I got a couple cool things, so we're gonna just leave with some like generic specs. Some Project Blue. Ooh, it has to be, because there's no reason why these cards would be expensive otherwise. Blade Beckoner Gauntlets cold foils are $15 roughly. That's right.
A Verdance thing.
Straight up, not even Project Blue, just Verdance, just 100%.
It could be Project Blue as well, but that's also a Verdance thing. That was her primary glove for the last 2 seasons, or last season.
So they're like one of the best cold foil rares you could ever pull.
Yes,
they're actually worth it. And then Blossom of Springs, the promo, they're completely bought out of TCG Player. So the promo Blossom of Spring full art is $35.
But we have a better one of those now.
Yeah,
there is.
In general, the new
old
chess
knockers.
Piece, old knocker. I need me a
Good
cold
old
foil old
knockers.
knocker.
I do need.
I mean, hopefully we'll pull one. Other than that, though, weakest link, I still think this card's criminally undervalued. This card probably, I mean, gravy cards don't have a block on it, right? So if I'm not mistaken, they get
correct.
weakest linked, and I just feel like there's other heroes in the meta that are going to take advantage and also have cards that don't have block value. I mean, brutes, like, guys, I can't stress weakest link enough. There's a couple up there for 45. That thing instantly goes back to its $90 days if it goes into like high contention. Hopefully everybody has a playset, and you just move your playset around.
Or just don't
but
play a
if
hero
not-
that wants to play it. Easy.
Or just don't play a hero that can play weakest link and just sidestep the whole thing and say no, thank you.
I never thought I'd hear you advocating for wizards, Thomas.
I mean, I've never played weakest link. I think I own like one, and I'll put it in as like a tech one of occasionally. But for me, that card is like chronically underperformed.
It's because most of the time you're targeting instants, and instants can always be played in response. But
Are very good at
specifically
jumping
with
out of
gravy,
hand. Yeah. But also, it's a. Oh, I lost everyone.
No, you're here. I think
No,
your
you're still
camera
here.
just gave up.
Mhm.
Oh, it's back.
You're here.
hey,
Maybe he did. Maybe on his end.
maybe
huh?
not. Nope,
Oh.
we lost him. Okay.
And I was wrong. It still bounced my camera around when he left.
Hmm.
Which is weird. I thought I had it where it wouldn't.
I'm lucky. I'm sorry, guys.
You're fine.
All good.
Okay.
So, weakest link.
Good card.
So weakest.
It's all
I
right.
just have a playset. That's it. It's one of those cards where I feel like if you don't, what is it? The saying, better to have it not need and not need it than need it not have it. Just do that thing, because it's just easier that way. But that's really all I have. I feel like there's still ice powers in the future, so get your ice, get your brute, brush up on your guardian stuff before mastery pack might cause a spike again. Katsu cards will dwindle when they realize that there's just better, faster decks in the meta. Katsu probably needs like one or two more cards or like a more array of the bonds to be back. But you can start piecing together those cards as well.
Katsu is fun again. He's not great again.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty strong. Like, he's
great.
playable.
Playable, strong. I probably have contention. I definitely could get some wins.
I mean, he's
I
not
think
D tier
good matchup
anymore,
spreads.
but he's not going to be
But-
top of the meta good.
No, but I don't think you want to see Katsu top. Like, if Katsu's top of the meta good, oof, man, we're in some games.
I see that face, Justin. You
I
disagree?
I think he's fine. I also think if he shows up in that season, it's gonna because he's bullying people who don't understand how to block him anymore.
That's probably true.
I think the blocking patterns have changed a lot since the last time we saw Katsu. So,
I think we could
Okay.
argue over that, but maybe I did play hundreds of games, so maybe I just intuitively picked up how it changed, just because I know what he's looking for again already. But
Well,
like, some of it's subtle. But the deck is strong. It's a deck that if someone brings it to nationals, I'm not like, why are you bringing this deck? It is
Yeah.
a deck that I've put reps into to make sure I understand how to beat that deck.
I agree.
Because
I
you
think
have to. I think that deck is strong.
Katsu will be at nationals and during this national season. I think you'd be a fool. 86 copies of the thing sold. Like 80. There are people out there playing Katsu. It's not just everybody stocking up on Retrace to Pass for fun. Like, there are people playing Katsu, and
may have to
he's
pick up my boy
he's
again.
real. So, you know what else is real though? The boatload of spoilers that came out, as well as 3 real heroes that are probably going to make a pretty big splash. I think all 3.
Splash. So we got the
Yeah,
other
I'm
half of
good.
the set finally. That was great.
It fleshed everything out. Everybody happy.
and
For the most part.
to be fair, I feel like we don't have a lot of new stuff to talk about because we kind of got the meat and potatoes of most of the classes. So, like, Palantir. I've been play testing with that, Palantir or not. That card's a house. It's like max V that you don't need to boost 3 times.
What does the card do?
2 cost. Yeah, 2 cost,
Go
6
ahead.
attack. That thrice per instant, you could tap a cog you control to give it +1. And the third time you do that you can
card.
destroy a defending card, and they have to block it with a piece of equipment. So it goes up to 9, and it deletes something that blocked it. If they block with a blade break piece of equipment, you don't have to target the equipment. You could target some 3 or 4 block they put in front of it and destroy it. Or you could just target a card on the previous chain. If they blocked with like a temper or a battle worn piece on the previous chain, you can blow it up on the previous chain too.
And if you destroy that card, is it losing its defense value, so it's no longer blocking?
Does. So yeah, if you eat a defense reaction off of this, like if you like just activate it twice and then tell your opponent, hey, what you gonna do now? You're gonna just take 8, or you're gonna like de-react this, and you click the other cog and eat it. They're not gonna de-react it, they're just gonna take 8. But yeah, it's very strong. Was there anything new that popped up during Anka? Anka popped up because he's gonna be in the armory deck, right?
Yeah, Anka and Oyster.
Yes, I was gonna say there are 2 allies that we didn't talk about that have popped up since then. Those are the 2.
There are some other cards that have popped up that are innocuous, but those are the 2 big ones.
I think Riddle with regret. We got another chaos card. I'm kind of disappointed that they nerfed Florian. Okay, they nerfed OTK Florian, and then they printed this card that just makes the matchup for both Arachnes just absurdly easy, because the Florian's just like, ha ha ha, I have 18 rune chance, and you go, ha ha ha, Riddle with regret. At the end of your turn, you're going to take 18 life loss worth of damage. So you force them to pop the rune chance, or you rip their entire hand and then play this out of your arsenal, and the Florian just goes, oh, I'm sad now.
Is there a world where you play this out against Prism and you let them kill themselves?
If making lots of spectral shields was something she did, you would totally do it. It'd be so funny.
Is it token only?
Oh no,
auras.
it's any auras.
The number of auras they control.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
so
this-
like she gets like 4 or 5 auras out, and you just let her ping herself for 4 to 5 a turn. You just don't deal with them.
Oh no, it breaks itself.
No, it breaks
if there's 3 or more.
Ah, damn.
So if they have 2, it'll do 2 a turn.
It is actually pretty
Okay,
good
yeah.
if they have like 1 or 2 auras out and it just stays out there. I think that's
Yeah,
decent.
okay. I like this.
Okay, so what is this thing on the art for Riddle with regret?
I don't know, but someone put the zany like emoji face over it, and I can't stop seeing that whenever I look at this art now.
I have no clue what he's supposed to be. He's got like tentacle arms or something going on. It does look like something from the Brood, right? It's got the same look as Arachne Marionette does.
Yeah.
It's riddled with regret.
But we
I'll
got
tell you that much.
a 0 cost shock.
Oh, that was
sick.
new.
But let's talk about Anka and Oyster first.
So Anka, when he first came out, we thought this was the most busted thing ever printed. He's been tampered down a little bit, but he's a 2 cost ally, 5 attack, 3 health, action, pay 1 pitch, attack. Instant tap, discard with a card with Watery Grave. The next time an opponent draws 1 or more cards this turn, they discard a card.
So
It's got
what
an
we thought
errata.
was busted was that we thought it stopped the draw part of the cards that you would do at your end phase.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it turned every aggro deck into like an IP3 hero or like a 3 intellect hero. But they errated that, so not so much.
Yeah, because, wow, that would have been gross.
Best
Okay,
deck in the
so
format,
this-
easily.
This in no way affects drawing up at the end of turn. You
No.
cannot
Yeah.
instant it as a response. Okay.
It's functional errata is basically saying that the next time an opponent would draw 1 or more cards this action phase as opposed to this turn.
Yes.
Got it. And it is 1 time. So that means if I were to crack a gold, I'm going to go to draw instant. He plays that in response. I now am discarding a card after so I'm netting no cards. I'm basically drawing and then discarding. I'm getting a filter, but that's definitely not what you want. Yeah, that ally is pretty crazy. At 5 and 3 for 2 costs.
It's a wounded bull.
It would
Those are
just
good cards.
it would just essentially it would give him 3 more copies of Chum in his deck, because
Yeah.
that's what Chum kind of does too. He just eats up a card, sometimes more than one card. So Anka would be he eats a card and then you have to spend a card killing him. So it just give him 3 more copies of Chum, and we do not want more copies of Chum.
Oyston's a weird one for me. It's the 0 cost, 3 power, 1 defense, just tap to attack, and whenever it dies, it creates a gold token. That card's weird. I don't know if it's good, because that stat line isn't incredible. I mean, it comes out for free, which is good, but like...
It's innocuous. The opponent
don't
doesn't really
know.
want to kill it.
The thing is, and I mean, like we saw this on stream as well, in Limited, that Gravy only wants so much gold, because there's only so many allies that he wants to discard using the hero power. And so it's like, how much gold do you really need? So it's a sick engine card, don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to make final builds, is my answer. I'm curious. I could see it being in the build, and I could see it being like the reason it's there, but also I just don't know if it's needed or not.
Okay.
Right.
What of you guys that have seen more of the set and paid more attention to it, how easy is it to give the allies go again? So how often is this going to be
Very
3 go
hard.
again?
In Limited, it's pretty challenging.
No, in general. In general.
In general, it's not that bad. Like, it's because
Really?
well, it's because in Classic Constructed, how many times does he need to give his allies go again? Like twice a game. So if he makes like 1 rum and drops his amulet, that's his twice per game. And the value you accrue by putting 2 allies down and swinging for 12 in a single turn, and that your opponent has to respond. Oh, we lost Justin again.
Yeah, I think the storm is messing with me pretty badly.
It's okay. The value that you get, like making your opponent take a whole turn off after they took 12, because if they block it all, they're not going to be able to clear the allies out, is really strong. So they made him have to have setup to get go again. Right? And I think that's what we're happy with, that it takes setup, because you don't really want him to get go again out of nowhere. And he really can't, because I think to do the Gold Kiss Rum, kinda, he can, right? But the amulet is one of his Watery Grave plays for the turn, usually. So
Okay, so
Yeah.
long story short, this isn't going to be a consistent head jab like
The dragons.
Limpet, yes. But that's only 1,
Well-
and she's really easy to kill.
Yeah, Limpet is, but not this Oyster guy. Or Austin? Austin?
Oyston.
The gold guy.
The gold guy.
The
gold guy,
the
no.
one that like really is crazy obnoxious, man, more than anyone. Chum is pretty bad. I hate Chum, but man, Sawbones, you can't ignore him. His ability to tap and prevent a damage to a pirate you control. So that means like all the one-liners can't be daggered down if Sawbones is out. Anyone that comes
Sawbones
at
and
a 3
Morty.
line, you can't head jab anymore.
Sawbones and Morty are probably my top 2 most annoying allies. I'm so glad we don't have to deal with Sawbones Unlimited.
Yeah, I don't know how Chowders already can be pretty difficult to handle in Limited sometimes,
Yeah.
just because the life gain that you get. So he always gets like 7 value. Last card I want to talk about before we talk about the Fable is Arcane Compliance. I don't think we talked about that last week. I don't think we knew about it yet.
We didn't know about it. We didn't know about Consign the Cosmos. We didn't know about Everbloom. We didn't know about a lot of these cards. But yeah,
Escalate
Arcane Compliance.
Bloodshed, Preach Modesty. Yeah, there's a couple I want to ask
Yeah.
you guys about. Definitely Preach Modesty. I want to get your guys' opinion on.
Or we can keep
Love the
going
art.
through them. If you're interested, I'm interested. But Arcane Compliance. This is one of the most hateful cards I've ever seen printed.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like if they printed Snag right now, you'd be like, God, man, that's brutal. Because it is. It's Arcane Snag. Arcane Compliance. It's a blue generic instant, 0 cost. No defense on it until the end of turn. Effects can't increase arcane damage that target action card on the stack would deal. Interestingly enough, I think this is the first reference of any card to the stack. I don't think any card has ever referenced the stack before.
You kind of have to with non-attack actions.
So
'Cause-
Arcane Compliance is basically Snag for Amp.
I hate this card.
I can imagine that you would not like this card as a wizard.
It's
You
brutal.
know, it's weird. I saw that coming.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I know.
Kano.
No one, crazy. The wizard guy doesn't like the arcane
It is
compliance card.
comically hard on Verdants. Like,
It is so bad. And this is why I'm so frustrated with it, right? Is because we spent a lot of time working on, and this is why I said the Verdance deck is basically a non-go anymore, is that it's like, we built that deck to where it's like, all right, keep the life totals close to each other, Striders, Waning Moon, do the thing, right? And in some matchups, the whole game plan was survive long enough to have a couple Rampant Growths, Fertile Ground, Striders, spell, right? And do like 18 on their turn. Because they're so disruptive or whatever, and you just never have a chance to like keep up with them on math because you're Verdance and you have to play bad cards. And now your whole entire game plan just dies. And there's literally like trying to do Strider stuff on opponents' turns is so risky.
I think it's just because Verdance is fully investing before she manifests her amp, right? She's done like she's thrown all her eggs into the basket and then thrown the basket at you, and you just play Arcane Compliance and it goes away. At least Kano, like if the opponent's game plan was just to throw this in front of Wildfire, and they don't AB, you still come across for 4, and then further cards down the line get amped up, right?
So I think the interesting spot to do this is to see what your Kano opponent has face up in the Banish. If it's open the floodgates in Banish, and they have Wildfire, and like you don't know what the third spell is yet, I will let the Wildfire hit, and then I'd hit the floodgates.
Or you like AB the Wildfire a little bit?
How
much
you would put AB into the Wildfire, then Compliance the floodgates.
How much do you think that this is I don't want to say a skill fix, but navigating the Kano stack is kind of challenging for some players. I'm not saying like you shouldn't get good, but like, when am I supposed to AB, right? When am I popping the Spell Void? You know, like you wait, like the Metacarpus, is it on the Wildfire? Is it the one after the Wildfire? Is it the Aether? Like, when is the supreme time? Because sometimes you think you hit the Wildfire and you get kind of nixed for it. This feels like a cop-out. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do the right one, but I'm an Arcane Compliance on that, because it seems like that's now your focal point.
I think it's just a deck building choice. This card literally can't be played in any other, like, real...
True, and I was going to say that as well. There's a cost for running this. I mean, it's a non-block blue that literally has no value outside of the Wizard matchup.
Okay, am I just smooth brain here? Because I look at this and all I see is use this on Blazing.
So it doesn't work on Blazing because Blazing's base text is X. It's not 0, it's X. So therefore, the base value of it is however much damage you've dealt. It would stop like Wildfire amping it at the end. So say you've dealt 20 damage this turn and Wildfire dealt 4. Mm-hmm. Normally Blazing would come in for 24 at the end. This would bring it down to 20.
To 20.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notably, it won't affect, like you said, it won't affect Blazing. This is for the amp cards, like you said, open the floodgate, things like that.
This is either like stopping a super chunky Wildfire and then ABing it down to like 1 or nothing, or this is stopping the open the floodgates they need to hit in order to even have a chance of going off.
Yep.
Or a Mind Warp.
Oh god, with Acilio. Okay, so thank God they gave Acilio consigned to Cosmos / Shock, because if they didn't give us that card, Acilio's just dead in the water and he's already a bad deck. But I get to talk about consigned to Cosmos, and we're not even going to read that side of the card because it's a yellow cost Shock that blocks 3. We're just going to look at that side only. Consigned to the Cosmos has some interesting texture. I don't care. It's a 0 cost Shock, and they made it a yellow, and it blocks 3. This is a crazy card. I cannot tell you how important this card is to Acilio.
They banned the only reason the left side was good.
Yeah.
They banned CYB. Like, this card is an incredible CYB counter, but they banned it, so it doesn't do anything anymore.
I can tell you, I've played a bunch of games with this because it's Acilio, and of course I'm going to spend time on Acilio. My win rate when I get to actually cast this card with a Volzar on it is 100%.
It's free real estate. It's a lightning card. It
is that good.
I think it just smooths the deck out so much.
It gives you 15. It gives you 15 Volzar outlets in a deck that can cycle through its deck. So you should almost never miss Volzar anymore, where before you sometimes had to miss Volzar because your hands got clunky. And now this just like smooths out everything. It's a power card, it's a glue card, it's everything that you could ask for as an Acilio player. It is so good.
Awesome. Glad the Acilio players got
You'll
something
be
they
seeing
needed.
me play Acilio at almost every single armory from here on out.
Right.
Although the card currently is unplayable because there's not a cold foil of it. They only made rainbow foils. And so I'm just like gutted and devastated at this current moment.
All right, that next season Judge Pack will have to save you or something.
Yeah, exactly. But
Um,
Shock and the Verdance pings get around Arcane Compliance. And if we did not get these tools, Arcane Compliance would just absolutely hose those two heroes and they would be absolutely unplayable.
Right, because you can play your like Mind Warp that's gigantic. The opponent can Arcane Compliance targeting the Mind Warp, and then you could play Shock as an instant to eat the Volzar charge
Yes.
instead.
Yes.
I don't know that it would make the heroes unplayable because Snag hasn't made the assassins unplayable.
If wizards are ever good, I can tell you as a wizard player, everybody brings in the best wizard hate card for that deck. It's just automatic. People hate losing to wizards.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that.
Right.
Nobody
then
wants to
they
lose that
take them back
matchup.
out and the wizards start winning again. It
Well,
just,
The
further
the
reinforces
only
the
way
cycle.
the only way Kano wins is by amping up a big spell. Where assassins have very varying ways that they win. Bonds of Agony just being one of those outlets. Dropped camera again.
Yeah. Yeah, you
but
were
Snag
saying
completely hoses Bonds of Agony.
Yeah,
Snag
but
hoses
that's
you
not
on
how
a
you
turn.
win.
Yeah, Snag hoses you on a turn. Arcane Compliance hoses you on the turn.
Yeah, well, Arcane Compliance is being chained to a win condition. Is what like
Yes.
Okay.
they hit your 2 attack reacts. You go, okay, well, we knew Snag was there. You set up and go again. They go for the win. Kano's literally facing lethal. He has to go for the win. Pops everything. Goes Aether Wildfire. You like AB spell void it. That he puts a fat floodgates. And you say compliance. He loses because that compliance is no longer ever going to get the surge damage and the floodgates. So it's whatever it is base. It just comes in, turns over.
All right, let's talk
Okay,
about the
so-
worst card in the set.
Don't do it.
Escalate
It's not worth-
Bloodshed.
Come
is
on, man.
so
That card is
bad.
amazing. No, we're gonna stand by this. That's the best card ever created. It was created for a reason. I'm gonna own about 4,000 copies of it, and I will stand on that.
Yeah, you know when they're
You're going to buy
printing
them at 20 cents a copy, though.
Sure.
you know they're printing this Guardian thing, like where all the Guardians face each other and beat up each other. I feel like that's
Right.
what the Majestic slots for Warrior have been the past few sets. We're gonna get like a only Warrior set, and then this card's gonna be a banger. Escalate Bloodshed, 0 cost, red pitch, no block. Warrior instant aura. Whenever a
Iron Song
hero
Pride, baby.
draws a card during an action phase, they lose 1 health. At the beginning of each hero's action phase, they draw a card. At the beginning of each hero's end phase, if a weapon did not attack this turn, destroy this. This card is awful.
Coming in hot. You want to draw those cards? You lose life for it. Dory with an extra card? And with
Bro,
something that Dory has...
If,
This
you,
would be
if you
good.
played an aura that said lose 3 life when you draw a card, draw an extra card, I'd be like, bet. And I would lose the 3 life and go for it.
Even if you play this on like a 3 of a kind turn, it dies because the weapon has to attack, and the bow itself is not attacking.
Yep.
So like your best, I don't know. This thing's ass. I'm sorry. This
Okay.
thing's bad. It's bad. It's
The
bad.
absolute best case scenario that this card helps you in is if you're Kasai and you're playing against a non-Kasai warrior. That's it.
Okay, so didn't Josh Lau go on a 20 to 30 minute rant about how bad this card is?
He did, and I think
Yes,
that's
and
like
you should watch it. It's very funny.
Listen,
go
You
watch
can see the soul leaving his eyes at about like minute 6.
there's a reason this card was made. We're going to stand by that reason. We'll talk about it. I think this is initial reactions. Everybody's a little confused as to how this is going to work or help. We
Well,
will escalate the bloodshed.
I like playing a card that lets my opponent draw a card, and then I get to draw a card, and then that's it. That's where it stops.
Yeah, but they lost a life.
And so did you.
I can't wait to lose to this card at Nationals. I can't wait to figure out some way to lose to this card.
Listen, you guys can hate all you want. We're gonna hold on. That's a warrior card in its prime right there. That's where warrior's at right now.
Just draw your
in
free
Flesh and
card
Blood.
and don't swing your weapon.
No, what if I'm attacking with my weapon and with it on the stack, they play this in response?
That's right.
And I'm at
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's it. It's
That's what
reckless
I'm
swing.
saying. Like I'm going to somehow
Boom.
lose to this card at 1.
Oh, there was some series of mistakes you made.
No. I lost to just this card. I was outskilling my opponent, and they high rolled me with escalate bloodshed when I'm at 1.
There was some things. Okay.
It's like losing to Channel Mount Eisen versus Jarl. When he plays Channel Mount Eisen and you die to the life loss from a frostbite, you're like, yeah, that's on me.
Anyways, the card's bad.
Deny Redemption. What do you guys think of that? Looks pretty good.
Deny redemption. Oh, the rune.
The
blade?
rune blade.
Blade card.
It's
No go again on it, but you don't need it.
I mean, it's CYB hate.
It's
That we
bad,
absolutely needed.
and I don't know why we're hating on Verdant. Like a lot of these cards in the expansion slots feels like they're scared of the Rosetta heroes, and rightfully so. I get it, the Rosetta heroes are good, but they're scared of the wrong half of the Rosetta heroes, right? Like they're hating on the wizard half of it when the Runeblade half was the really good half.
I don't know what this
weird.
card is doing though. What's Deny Redemption even trying to do?
Stop rampant growth combo as Florian and Verdant, I guess.
No, I'm just thinking about the other text. Like,
I mean, if you have lower life than
Get
Prism,
through
right?
spectral shields.
That's
Maybe
pretty cool.
It was
okay,
Oh, this burn through Enigma.
this is amazing against Enigma, which I guess if they thought might still be in the meta, this would make sure that Florian just absolutely trounced Enigma. You're right. This card absolutely trounces Enigma if you run it in Florian. It's actually quite hilarious.
Yeah.
It flattens her. I guess you could run a 1-of or 2-of versus Prism if Prism was very present to clear out 2 or 3 angels and some spectral shields. But anyway, this is an interesting card. Like,
I think it is okay. I think it can be like a tech card for specific metas, but I am not like, this card has to be in my binder immediately.
it feels like this card's meta just passed because Enigma's gone.
yes.
Or
And
if Verdance ever pops up as like the deck to be.
I think we'll occasionally see that happen though, right? That we'll see Majestics pop up in expansion slots that were either too late for the hero they were supposed to help or hurt, or LSS had an adjustment to their design philosophy that made the card not as good again. Like I said, riddle with regret. If they didn't ban Germinate, and this card is just a house against Florian if they didn't ban Germinate.
Okay, so we keep speaking about Florian. Let's talk about Everbloom Life. I need you guys to tell me how to feel about this card.
It's a blue block 3.
It'll make the deck. New can play it against me, and that makes me really sad. Because it has the word go again on it. They gain 1 life. They put Codex of Frailty back on the bottom of their deck, and I cry.
Holy heck, they do. Oh my lord.
Yep, we played it in the matchup. We realized that happens. We took it out of the matchup, and now we're sad.
I actually don't think you play this in Florian at Nats, right? This is worse than Flourish.
You play the card, but you don't play it versus new.
Yeah, it has to come out versus new. Kind of like how Flourish you sided out versus
Yeah.
new.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather keep Flourishing than this card.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's only
It
a
definitely
difference
can't give
of-
back the codexes.
What, another month?
This lets them
before
recycle
new
Leave No
goes?
Witnesses. It can recycle Codex. It can just... It sucks. It sucks to get hit with. Yeah, that was rough. But, I mean, it's a blue block 3. Whatever.
It's
It
also
was- it would
something
be- it
that
would've
you could just rip it on turn 0 too, just to fill up your graveyard, and it's not bad.
It would have been gross with Germinate because now you have 6 Germinates. because X is less than 0. So
Yep.
whenever you gain the 1 life, you could just put Germinates back on your bottom of your deck.
It's kind of why they had to ban
Yeah.
it. Like now it
Yeah.
makes sense, right? Like we see the card and we go, ooh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
By the way-
Everbloom Life.
This might have been
Go ahead.
another reason they banned Crown of Seeds in Living Legend too, because this card is insane in Living Legend Lorien.
Oh, for sure. But also, this is another non-attack action for Verdance, which she's struggling for non-attack actions, funnily. So I'm happy for her. But it's a very middling... It's a good card, but it's not like a great card. But the most important part of it is that it's a blue block 3.
All right,
So- Both of the Earth heroes are going to want this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because blue block 3 non-attack action.
Okay.
and it can be played by both. It's a split. Like the split's good. It's Earth and just Earth and Earth. It's like an Earth Rune Blade.
It's a
or
life
anything
that
like
you can
that.
just
It
yeet
feels
into the
good.
yard.
Yeah.
Another important thing, speaking of new and how much I despise her, the life side of the card is really bad for Verdance versus new, because if you have this card stuck in your hand when new rips your hand apart, you have to get it out of your hand. Because if you leave any card in your hand that has that life half of the card, they go into your deck and take all the rampant growths out.
All the lives.
Yeah.
Anything
Oh,
with
yeah,
life
because-
attached to it.
Yeah.
All the life side of
the
rampant growth.
life side of rampant.
They count as individual cards in one card. And,
Yeah, in
and
one
something
card.
That if you say I'm targeting life, you can target any life card.
And you can pull all 3 out of them in the deck and
Oof.
leave the one in hand, right? That's how that works? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
with the,
it's
that's,
not fun.
that's kind of rude.
So-
I don't know if that should work that way, but I mean, I get
It
it.
should.
But
Just play
It
them.
doesn't matter if it should, it does.
You have
just
to
play
get it out of your hand.
You just play it in
It's
response.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And sometimes it's your win con in your hand and you just cry. But anyways,
I almost forgot about Clav and Sarakai.
Yeah, I was
card's
gonna
good.
say
This
yeah, it's
dagger
amazing,
is
right?
wild. Like, whoa!
this is stupid. Why are they so scared of wizards? What have
Dude,
we ever
why-
done to
dude,
anybody?
I
Spell
feel
blade
like
one on a
this
draconic
is like
weapon.
oh god, this eats a rune chant from a rune blade every turn.
Yeah. In Syndra. Because you buy back the daggers at the end of every turn.
Also, if you have one resource and an extra action point, you used to not be able to do anything with it at the end of turn because you would lose your dagger. So
Yep.
now you could swing this one and your dagger doesn't break. So this lets you convert one into 1 damage pretty often.
Even as Fang, you can go like Fire Vein plus Claw and Sarakai. And like, yeah, you're losing the +1 pump. But versus like Kano,
Yeah, versus Kano.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
like, now he has
you would
spell
bring
blade.
this. Yeah, you would bring this in 100% versus Kano as Fang.
Yeah, because
Like,
typically you
there
aren't
are-
throwing anything after the second dagger.
yeah, like there are worlds where you don't do anything after the second Fire Vein. Like what you would have done before to be the Chain Ender, now you just do in the middle or something. Like there are worlds where Fang plays this card. I am very curious about it. And by curious, I mean I hate this thing. Why do we have so much wizard hate?
This thing's cool. I'm getting a set for my Syndra deck.
Hater.
Okay, so is it a Phi tech piece too? And Phi just doesn't play Emberblade in that matchup?
No, Emberblade's banger.
I mean, yeah,
Emberblade.
Emberblade is a great card, but it's, Spell Void too.
This is Spellwood 1. Oh, you
Right.
play both of them?
It doesn't have go again. So
I mean, you just
think
don't
you're
swing with a
shooting
weapon, that's the
yourself
thing.
in the
Or you-
foot.
Yeah, you're dropping your damage output a lot.
For Spellblade too.
Okay.
What does
You
Preach
have, like,
Modesty
really
do?
good, you have really good Chain Enders in Phi too, is the other half of the issue.
All right.
I don't know.
Did we miss any like bangers and interesting cards? Can we talk about this fable that I'm
Well-
not even sure how to pronounce?
Noah wanted to talk about Preach Modesty.
Real what does it do?
No. Okay. All right. We'll talk about. This card does nothing. It's really funny because the hero it's most effective against was Zen, and it's a ninja card, so it's ninja hate on ninja. 0 cost 2 block ninja action aura, no go again on it, red. This enters the arena with a balance counter on it. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this unless you remove a balance counter from it. Abilities can't create cards. Okay, so this
The Marlin can't
this
create a harpoon.
beats
Ten.
up on
Yeah.
Zen, like just
So
completely.
Marlin can't create a harpoon, Puffin can't create a cause.
KO can't make a might token.
Zen could
specifically
make the tiger.
Specifically, Orweaver can't make the Chelicerae, but that's like very obscure.
Yeah, that's niche. I don't know. This is
Prism can't
We go
make a
next.
spectral shield. Old Prism.
we go next. This card's fine. Like,
It doesn't even block
Interesting.
3.
it stops Chain from making a shackle. It's broken.
Oh, it does stop Chain from making a shackle, but he still gets to go
But it-
again, right?
No,
right.
it's if the shackle's created.
Okay.
Fable us up because I have some cool like when we can
Oh
talk
no,
about
no,
commons or limited or whatever.
now we gotta talk about surface shaking.
Wait, I thought
No,
surface
we do
shaking was
not.
already
No,
revealed.
no. Bad joke.
Okay, so we're just gonna move on from surface shaking.
Shit's ass, my dude. Let's move on.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we talked about some other really bad cards. Okay.
That's not true.
Riches of Tropal Donnie or Tropal Johnny, maybe.
I like Triple Johnny.
The Donai,
Like something I would do.
Could be Deny.
Donnie.
I like Triple Donnie.
Man, I'm gonna ask Google later. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask
Google.
James to pronounce it.
This is
And see how he
yeah.
does it.
Let's go. This is a yellow fable. That means it doesn't have a cost. It doesn't have a defense or anything. It is a gem resource that you can only pitch. Legendary, only one in your deck. When this is pitched, create a gold token.
What the hell?
Generic.
Why is it generic?
Why LSS?
It's going to be so expensive, and I know that I'm just going to get so fed up with Victor activating quick dodge flexors, blocking 2 on 2 chain links, making a gold, drawing a card so that he could block 3 on some other chain link, and then he has the gold, which makes cast homes get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the thing goes back into his freaking deck.
Or you don't attack that turn. That's fine. He just pitches it as part of his normal game plan, and guess what? He drew a card.
This says get 2 pitch, draw a card.
This is a pretty wild card.
This card is wild in Victor. He doesn't even need Tunic to command and conquer pummel you anymore.
Yeah, he just does it. Just play CNC, draw the card.
If he draws a red, I guess he still uses the Tunic counter, but usually he's just gonna like draw a blue or a yellow and just blow your home up.
Yeah.
And he made a gold.
So why are we doing this?
So Victor's real deck.
Why are we making like all 3 of the new heroes use gold in just like bananas ways?
Yes.
It's like, so it's very strong in all 3 of them. I think it is genuinely like in the optimal builds for all 3 of them. It will end up being a Windmill Sam.
like maybe you don't run it in
Gravy.
Marlin. Maybe you don't run it in Marlin
depends on the
because
build of Marlin.
you just don't want to miss. You don't really want to miss on like your go turns. But the other 2 decks are willing to sit around and build up an engine.
Yeah, like it's very frustrating to see that. I'm very frustrated. Like Kasai, it's going to be a slam in her, and I think she is using it the weakest of like the top 5 decks that use it, and she's still very, very strong with it. Why did we do this, LSS? Why didn't you just make this a pirate gem?
Well, Olympia is still the worst by far, but
This is going to be a
technically
nightmare
I
to
can
try to
run
get
this
in
card in my
nets.
Bravo deck. It's not doing a lot in my Bravo deck either.
no, I'm just talking about of people that use gold, or have a gold
Technically, yeah.
game
Okay.
plan. Yeah, I think this is unfortunate. It's printed in generic. I don't think Victor really needed any support. This helps him immensely. You can you could just defend it by saying it's a one of, but it's a fable, spreading it across a
No.
lot of heroes, and then also forever, you have to consider the design space that every hero has easy access to gold creation.
Yeah. This might end up being wow, man. This would be a tough ban to ban a Fable, but they made a very I agree. They made a very daring choice making this a generic. So
This is stronger than gaining a health. This is stronger.
yeah, way
than,
stronger than gaining health, and
This
in
is
some
stronger
cases
than
op
opting
2.
to. This is stronger.
It's just not a blue pitch. But like, does that really matter
Yeah,
with the
but
gold?
Who cares?
Yeah,
Who cares? I got a gold.
right.
Gold is the
Which
payoff.
is just hand filter and just
Yeah, and like
for
if
free
you
real
think
estate
about it,
later on.
Its floor is a blue pitch, right? Because once again, you pitch blue into it, you gain the resource, right? You
Right.
pitched a yellow, now you gain the extra resource later. So it's almost like a super blue because you get it later.
I think Schism is still the strongest gem, but it's held back because it's chaos. This
Schism
is
was generic
right there
indeed.
in the same neighborhood, though.
Yeah, Schism is
broke.
pretty messed up. I've done some really
Yeah,
nasty
Schism is
stuff.
probably your
Schism.
strongest gem.
Schism's
Schism's your
ridiculous.
strongest gem, but I'm not happy about this one. I was really happy with our Fables for a long time. Will of Arcana turned out to only be okay.
This is
in
by
one of
far the most
Wizards
playable Fable.
in a while. Yes.
I mean, all the
haven't seen a
fables have
super-
been. Sorry, I was gonna say very, very targeted, like towards heroes. So
In general, they've mostly been targeted towards not being playable. They're
Yeah.
just like collector's items. Like hard to find in fatigue decks. I have a Phidia goes in like decks that care about the top. Like
I wanted it to be some sort of like untap your hero weapon, untap something on the board. When this is
that's what I figured it would be, because there's a lot of tap mechanic. I figured it'd be some kind of piratey tap sort of reset, or
Yeah.
or like tap or untap target out. Like something kind of cheeky, like like that's a cool play. Now
I mean,
it's
that's
just
strong. Don't get me wrong.
it's strong, but it's targeted strong. It's like
But it's
to a
not-
tap mechanic.
this would have
But it's
been
not make a
pitch a
gold
yellow, draw
strong.
a card, and puffin. If it was untap your hero. I just think
But
it should have
that's
been
one
pirate.
hero.
Should have been pirate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this should have been
Should've been
pirate. Full
pirate.
stop.
100%.
But even as pirate, it's still really strong. I don't know. I'm upset about this gem.
Not a
this could-
fan, but maybe we're overreacting.
We'll see.
Are we?
This
though?
was definitely the contentious one internally.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now that we've talked
I'd-
about the most controversial card in the set, let's talk about the best card in the set.
Polly?
Nope.
Oh.
What do you
Sticky
think is
fingers?
the best card in the set?
Swift shot. A zero cost, 3 block, 4 damage arrow. When this is put face up in your arsenal, it gets go again this turn. This card is
So you mean it always has go again?
Dude, this card is so wild.
No,
like
if I turn it over with Skullbone, it doesn't get go again, right? Because it wasn't put
but
face up.
Who's playing Skullbones anymore? That's old
Well, is
stuff.
it-
Everyone's just
Yeah,
playing
we're
New
playing-
Horizon and just like lottery off the top. Man.
Yeah, I think every ranger will be on New Horizon.
I would have.
Nationals.
I can't tell you what I would have gone through to have this arrow in my deck last season for Riptide. Because I was only on Dreadbore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was only on Dreadbore. Dreadbore with this card is wild. I just have a 1 cost 5 go again all the time, just like in my deck. So good.
That card and Dry Powder Shot are just like banger cards. Where Dry Powder Shot is the
Yeah,
0
for 5.
3.
Yeah.
But when it gets put face up in your arsenal, it's Lava Burst, so it's a 0 for 5.
Yeah, Dry Powder Shot is very strong.
But
I mean-
it's not Swift Shot. Swift Shot is like, it's in a league of its own.
Yes. There's probably a reason it was only printed in red. Because this card would have been kind of wild in blue. This would have been an incredible part of a blue base.
Oh, you would windmill slam this in all 3 colors.
Definitely blue, right? Because if you get near the end of the game, this is just like an easy card out of hand to try to go wide enough to get that
Yeah.
last point of damage.
We played Rainbow Bolt and Shot as well. This is Rainbow Bolt and Shot with less steps. So, I don't know. That card upsets me. I don't like it. Are we going to talk about Scurv now?
Oh yeah,
did we talk about Scurv yet?
He exists.
They're calling him stupid sexy Scurv, but I've been referring to him as watch your catalytic converter Scurv.
He is the type of petty thief that would take your catalytic converter off your car.
I don't get
For sure.
sexy from him. I get greasy.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. Especially if you look at the not so fast art.
Oh, dude, he's got there's some wild synergy though. Like my
he's
favorite
a-
is
he's a
just
shit.
reading the cards, and if they go, if you're a thief, I'm thinking, oh, that's because it's like I'm the thief. If you're the thief, you do this.
And he's pretty good in sealed.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really good in sealed.
Is he a playable limited
Yes.
draft?
Sealed.
Yeah, but you have to draft him.
Draft he's harder to nail, but I think he's still solid.
What
I
I'm
have
getting at is at
seen-
nationals, can you draft him?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
He is a draftable hero.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm even more sold on this now.
You kind of got to see him by like pick 4 or 5 because he does
very
build him
weird.
away.
Yeah, it's very weird because like if you see Scurv in pack 2 or you see Scurv in pack 3, I don't think you can play Scurv. If you open up Scurv from the jump, you might be able to play Scurv.
There's some competition for the cards that he's playing.
Yes, the generic pirate cards, or the generics and the pirate cards, are very, very strong.
Scurv makes me want to put my tinfoil hat back on.
Okay.
And go back to the Monarch Dust Till Dawn third set draft, the block draft. Because it means that Vincent would be a draftable hero, like Scurv, in that format.
She would have been cool.
That would have been a very hard draft, but
Like,
I guess.
Talking about Monarch Dust Till Dawn and then the next set when it comes out. I've pitched this tinfoil hat theory before. I think that draft format is going to be a 3-set draft.
Well, I think we've all kind of said that, right? Because Dust Till Dawn didn't make any sense. Like, you couldn't draft it because it was incomplete by itself.
Yeah, it felt like a set full of draft chaff.
I got nothing.
I'm just saying.
I want to talk about two cards that have been living in my nightmares for the last couple of days.
One
of them is Saltwater Swell. This card is 1/2 of Belittle, and Belittle is bonkers. It's a 1-cost 3 go again. Block 3. It is a block 3. Mm-hmm. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's blue, pitch it. And in some of these heroes, you get to know the top card of your deck. So you
just pitch it. You get the pitch value.
You just pitch it. You just
get the resources.
Just get the resources. You got 5 of them in the pitch. That's fine.
Wow.
That card scares the crap out of me. Golden Tipple scares the crap out of me.
Tipple scares the crap out of me. Like, this card seems so innocuous when you first look at it, but...
You first look at it, it's not that strong, but it's Belittle. Once again, it is still Belittle.
Golden Tipple. Let me read it out. Because this one is a little bit more complex.
Yes.
1 cost, attacks for 3, only blocks for 2 at least. When this attacks, you may discard a yellow card. If you do, draw a card and create a gold token. Go again.
So you have a token yellow card in your hand, and we saw this on stream. Like, they did it in limited. You have and this is like a big part of the limited format, is discarding yellow things with this card to draw a card. So like Gravy will discard his allies and draw a card. So he's like,
right, you want to make
he's card positive, getting his allies into the graveyard.
Right.
Like, Blue Tipple is a house for that reason.
Marlin will make a harpoon. So essentially, she cracked a gold for 0 resources. It's really strong.
She could just pay for the harpoon. Yeah.
Yeah. You play Tipple, you get the free reload on the harpoon, you draw the card, you shoot the harpoon. So you essentially had a 2-card 9. If it's one of the majestic harpoons, like 2-cost ones.
Yeah, the red Golden Tipple, and specifically in red, I think is good enough to see classic constructed play. Maybe blue as well for Gravy Bones, since he needs blue starters, but I don't know. The red is really good at Marlin.
Yeah. But they basically printed a bunch of like Belittle adjacent cards, and they all scare the crap out of me. Like,
How do you get?
At least they're both pirate.
No, Tipple's.
It's pirate. It's pirate.
Oh,
pirate.
Thank God. Okay, crisis averted. We're doing better.
Speaking of a generic
We're doing
card,
better.
how do you guys feel about On the Horizon, the generic block 4? When this defends, look at the top card of your deck.
It's a 4-block.
This card in red in limited is wild. It is so strong.
It's a good card. You like that one.
I don't know if you watched much of the world premiere, but you'll see that at the beginning of the game, people are pushing their armor at the start because of the Treasure Island minigame. Because a lot of times the first person to make a solid connection, get a couple gold, they win. So your 4 blocks, just because of how many 2 blocks there are in this game, in this set, the 4 blocks are like super premium.
Yep.
You guys are, yeah, because the first person to get hit, you're creating gold with the treasure island counters, and then you're just snowballing on resources and hand depth. I mean, like, I need to go back and watch more of the world premiere. I caught a couple of games, but
Watch
I'm
it.
looking
It was so good.
I'm looking at the list of cards that are right, like things reference nimbleism. So nimbleism's here. So you've got power gain, and then Scar for a Scar, Life for a Life are all in the set as well. Rabble, like there is so much with and Go Again that could be drafted and could be played in both sealed and like there are some like these games must be lightning fast if people
No,
are like
they're
actually
not
throwing.
actually.
Really?
People are playing
'Cause
super
the width is
defensively because of the
crazy.
gold minigame. The gold minigame makes you play very
So-
defensively sometimes.
There's two camps, right, so far, and we are on day -7 of the set. There's the defensive play, it's where you don't give up gold, right? And then there's people who just say, we're going to ball, right? They put a bunch of Go Again in their deck. They don't want to worry about gravy. They always want to make sure their hand converts. And they want to make sure that they're able to get some gold off of the treasure island, even if they're giving up like a gold in return to make like keep a low counter game. And I don't know which one is good yet. I have been trying both.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny you say that. There are a lot of cards that, and they're usually thief related, or I mean, they're also like just weird rowboat cards. I think there's like a whole series. If your opponent controls more gold than you, then do X. So it almost feels like
the
you're
mutiny cards.
It almost feels like you're
all three mutinies.
incentivized
Oh my God.
All three
to
mutinies are
have
great.
less
Strong.
gold.
Those
Yeah.
could be I would consider those potentially pack one, pick one.
I mean, that was the pack one, pick one of the feature drafter for the top 8 draft.
All three
That
of
was two of his
them.
top 3 picks.
All three of them are ways to close out the game or ways to pick up so much momentum that you just win. Because like
Yes.
the person goes, okay, I leaked one, I've got the gold, I'm winning the gold mini game. You go, yoink, steal the gold. Or even if they hit you for multiple and they get like 3 or 4 gold and you just need your one to start, you just let them hit you, yoink one of their gold. Get like the fact the one that gives you +2 is a blue, getting 2 points of
so
value
stupid.
and a gold out of a blue is wild.
You're trading your card for gold, which is in theory 2/3 of a card. So you're basically trading a third of a card for +2 value and enabling gravy, or like just pumping things up. Card's nuts.
Yeah.
I killed Andrew Cook with the one that gives Go Again, and some draft testing. We did. Like it literally just won the game on the spot. He made a gold, and I was like, man, I don't have any more width. I'm out of cogs. And then I drew my hand. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just steal his gold. I said, this is literally robbery.
I had a draft deck where my whole game plan was big Swabby, and I'd throw Swabby for 11 overpower. It was good. But
Okay.
yeah.
How much spoilers can we talk about from the world premiere? Do you mind if we talk about some of the games?
Yeah, let's talk about them. They were sick.
I wanted to note that there was I can't remember who the opponent was, but there was a puffin, and they were pushing in pretty aggressively, and the opponent like says, "Okay, not gonna block. I'm gonna take some hits."
Oh, it was Shoma.
And maybe it was Shoma's deck. Anyway, the dude
Yeah.
takes some hits and he's gonna respond back, and he had like 4 golden cogs out, and he blocks with the golden Skywarden in limited with 4 cogs out. And that's the one that you can galvanize over and over again and turn all your cogs into gold. And he just one card blocks like a whole attack from the other person. And you see the person's face like, sometimes you just have it.
Yeah. I was thinking of the Shoma when he came in with a Palantir. And his opponent, like, exact blocked it for the 2 cogs that were out because he had 2 cogs up. But he had Unicycle.
Oh, and he forgot about Unicycle.
Yeah, and his opponent forgot about Unicycle. Unicycle just lets you untap a cog, so he did he did 2 instances of the ability, and then untapped one of the cogs again with Unicycle, and then used the third one. And the guy just looked at it, and he was like, "Oh,
Oops.
well, oops." Yeah,
Didn't that deck with Palantir, didn't he have Cog in the machine in that deck too? I feel like there was like some really busted Puffin deck that had Cog in the machine and one other Majestic, and I was like, that's crazy that you.
I think that was Chris Iali's deck day 1, and that thing was nuts. They had him on like the last round of day 1.
Yeah.
and he just smoked somebody. Oh, he smoked a gravy because we watched Pudding win with gravy, but his opponent misplayed because he doesn't know the cards yet. And that was the only gravy win we saw all day sealed on coverage. And then we didn't see a gravy win on stream in draft until the finals. And so I went this whole tournament thinking gravy was bad. And
Even
then
though he had the
finally I saw
best day
Gravy
one
win.
conversion rate, didn't he?
He may have. I don't remember. Well, Scurf technically did.
Yeah, Scurf
but-
technically did. But there's only like 7 of them.
Yeah. So
And
they were
then
winning a bunch of games off camera. They just weren't winning on camera. And it was funny.
the finals, which was super exciting. Such an incredible game. And was iconically finished out with a Conqueror of the High Seas. Hey, dude, when he drew it and like it just got a little flash before he threw it in Arsenal, that I was like, is that a Conqueror? Like it like jump scared me a little bit. I'm like, what? And the casters were like that too. It's like, was that a Conqueror of the High Seas that he just put into his arsenal? And the dude, he manages to like block down to 2 cards and throws 8 go again out of the arsenal, and it's just the end. Like,
Hey, go
Yeah.
again.
It was a great final. Like I said, I
Good
caught the
banger
very
finals.
tail end of it, just enough for the boat, and it was a really cool moment.
We got to see a lot of how this format works in terms of like the drafting thing. Like, I thought Yuki's draft was really, really interesting because you hear like the commentators talk about it and they're like, "Dude, she train wrecked this draft."
I only watched the first game, and I think I fell asleep after that because I was watching it late at night because it started at like 11 p.m. I watched her draft, and I was just like, she lost her first game. And I'm like, oh man, this looks terrible. And then when I went and watched the rest of the coverage, I was like, oh, she went 2-1 in that draft.
Yeah. And it like showed that you can play like low ally gravy, and it's like a way to play the deck. And it was like very interesting that you play like pirate good stuff. But
Maybe she was
because I
hoping to
like
get
I
Scarf.
watched that draft and I was like, I think she's gonna 0-3 this pod.
Yep.
Like it looked that bad.
I thought she was going to 3
And
as well.
Yeah, and so shout out her for being an incredible player because if I have that deck in my hands that she drafted, I am 0-3ing every single time without question. So, yeah, I don't know. Like the drafts were super interesting to watch. The games themselves were super interesting to watch. Treasure Island is a fun mini game. This is a limited set that I will revisit.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited for pre-release to touch the cards, play with them, kind of look at them.
Yeah, I was only going to go
Again.
2. Now I'm definitely going to 1 on Friday. I don't think 3 is enough.
Yeah, I will be at 3.
So Noah, you should come to pre-release with me on Friday.
I will probably be at work.
Do it. Oh,
What?
fine. Have a job.
It's at like
Yeah, I have a
7
job
p.m.
again. Oh, well, maybe. I get off at 4:30.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, show up then.
Where's that?
I'm going to the one
Don't worry about that.
nearby where I'm at. So you can just come to my house and I'll drive you from there. And then we get to go to pre-release together.
We can do it. So Friday,
Okay.
Saturday, and then Sunday we're splitting because I'm going to Duluth and you're going to Showcase to
Yep.
pick my stuff up.
So I'm super pumped for pre-release. I think after that we'll have one more podcast before Nats. I guess we'll talk about what we think the meta is going to finally be after all of our testing.
Do we have to?
Lots of
Yeah,
fast decks.
Can I just close my eyes to Constructed and play only limited?
Not so much.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, buddy.
I mean,
To be
you'll lose
fair,
half
to be fair, there's only so much you can do, right? Because if you're playing a non-high seas hero, your 60 isn't going to change a lot unless you got some bomb M that you're rebuilding your deck around. Because in my opinion, like the deck the beat at Nats is probably still going to be new, and maybe Florian.
I think that's 2 of your top 3.
So nothing's changed, right? If you're building your deck, you've already been building to try to beat New and Florian. So now you just need to have your tech cards.
Oh
for
wait,
dealing
New
with-
and Florian. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, that's one of my top 3.
What's your?
I guess we can talk about that.
Do you
we
not
can talk
put-
about that next week. I
Okay,
guess.
okay. We'll talk about that next
Yeah,
podcast. Okay,
Yes, I guess we'll talk about that next podcast.
all right. That's all for me. That's all I've got.
I Go out there, enjoy your pre-releases. You know, share the experiences in the comment once this goes. You can come back, comment on the video, and
Please do.
we'll meet back next week after pre-release and share all our experiences. Hopefully, everybody gets some cool pulls. Then we'll go from there and get you guys ready for nationals. Ooh. Gonna be spooky, scary. All right. If nobody has anything else, Thomas, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at WetTheSystemFab, though I'm probably going to be in a cave, mainly as just Wet the System on the various Discords getting ready for Nats.
Justin?
J_EBS5 on Twitter, Jebzo5 everywhere else, and I will also be in hiding until Nationals is done.
Donnie, are you also hiding? And what are your
Nah,
social...
you can go ahead and reach out to me if you feel like it. I am Draco Hominis 87. I am Draco Hominis 87 everywhere social media is sold. You can reach out to me on Blue Sky, Twitter, Discord. Best bet if you actually want to talk or chatter about Flesh and Blood, hit me up on Discord. My DMs are open.
I won't be hiding either. Work called me back, so I kind of was on the fence anyway, and I literally just have no idea what's going on. So I'm back in the world of the actually going to work and employed instead of just sitting on leave. So working for a federal agency has its ups and downs. But I am Big Max Fab on Twitter, Big Max on Blue Sky, Kraken Packs, and I'll probably be opening High Seas at some point. Might do like a stream where we just hang out, do the thing where we, talk, shoot the shit, that whole thing. Donnie will open up some packs and have a game night or something like that. Maybe I'll set aside some cases. I'm not I'm gonna be one to open this, but at the same time, those treasure packs are gonna make really good content. So maybe I'll just stash them all aside and do them all at once or something. I don't know. I can wait. I got the patience for it.
Okay, real quick though, what do you think the market on the treasure packs themselves are going to be?
It depends. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the pull rate and what the base costs for like some of the cool Cold Kiss rums. You know what I mean? Like some of the cards in there are just going to be like novelty kind of collect them all treasure type things, and then like obviously the hits are going to be banging. So it's tough. Probably more. No, would it be more than it should be less than the Misfell Golden Packs, but it might be more. Like, because it's one per box, so you'd think it'd be low. I don't know. 150. That's like a guess. If the hype is even more real, I mean, who knows?
Wait, per gold pack? No, I'm thinking like
that sounds crazy.
Like, I'm thinking like $10.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll find out.
This is it really just like I have no idea. Like I don't know how sought after they're gonna be. We'll see.
We'll find out.
All right. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember we are all siblings in cardboard. Nothing crazy though. Just like I read those cards that came out new, like Escalate Bloodshed, amazing card. And I wouldn't have known what it did unless I read the card. And so when you read the card, you understand the card, and then you can do what the card says.
I still don't know what it does.
I'm still not sure you understand the card.
You draw cards, and you lose life, and you swing weapons. I like it. It's what warriors do. Draw cards, read your cards, do your cards. Flesh and blood.